protesting the NFL, and I don't want to hear about it, I don't want to talk about it, and we're not going to. We all have one another's opinions, and that's where we're leaving it. That being said, we're going to talk about a wacky week 3 in the NFL. It was absolutely wacky, upsets everywhere. So, starting with Joe, what was the biggest upset this week to you, and why?
For me, it was really hard to pick. There was a lot, but I would have to probably go Jacksonville over the Ravens. The Ravens have had a really strong defense to start the year, and I would not have guessed they would have been blown out that bad.
Well, fun fact on that. Yeah, the Jaguars are 3-0 across the pond as a team in franchise history. That was the Ravens' first trip over there, so that could have had something to do with it.
Yeah, I looked into it. They've actually played 5 games in London, and that's two more than anybody. Miami's the next with 3, and Jacksonville is on a 3-0 streak after losing their first 2 over there. So,
Blake Bortles looked like a superstar,
which is very hard to do.
Yeah, he's not that great. All right, Brian, B-Rye.
My biggest upset for week 3, I picked Redskins over the Raiders. Primetime Sunday Night Football, the Redskins were ready. They shut down Crabtree, they shut down Lynch, they shut down basically their whole offense, and the Redskins came to play.
That's nice.
27-10.
I had time to sit down and watch some of that. I had time to sit down and watch some of that, and really from the opening snap, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but it just felt like it wasn't the Raiders game from the beginning. I don't know.
I agree. I watched the first half before I went to bed.
Yeah, it looked lopsided from the start.
Yep.
I don't know if it's because they were coming from west to east. They usually don't have an issue with that. It was nighttime, so maybe it was a weird time of the day for them to play. I don't really understand, to be honest, but
that was my biggest upset.
It's interesting. What about you, Ryan?
I'm going Jets over Miami.
That's a good one. What are your observations
Jets
there?
have not looked good. Jets have not looked good all year. And then, I mean, Dolphins have only played 1 game because the first game got canceled. But to only put up 6 points on the Jets, and the Jets defense held Ajayi to 16 yards rushing. Not many defenses can do that. The Jets did it. So that's why it's my biggest upset. Jets just completely dominated that game.
Being a fan in the NFC North my whole life, you learned something over the last 6 or 7 years. Jay Cutler will be Jay Cutler. And fortunately for the Jets and their fans, he did that. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, he's probably going to continue doing that. Yeah, he just...
Jay Cutler's 3 or 4 picks.
He's mediocre, he showed it. But
Yeah, he is.
that was a huge upset. I agree with you on that. I thought the Jets were going to go 0-16. And I was pretty heavy on the Dolphins. Okay, anybody have anything to say about that one?
Good pick. Jets definitely dominated the game from the start.
Yeah, the Jets, I don't know, looked hungrier, which is weird to think about because they're selling out this year by all accounts, right?
Well, the Jets always play good in their division. They've done that every single year. They always play good in their division, but they can't play out of their division.
Yeah, or if in their division involves the Patriots.
They give the Patriots a run for their money every year.
Yeah, how many wins do you think the Jets can get this year?
How many wins do I think?
Yeah.
4.
4-12. You think that's good enough to get Sam Darnold, or do you think that leave it open to the the 49ers?
I don't think if Sam Darnold goes, I think he'll go to the Jets. I think if the Jets go 4-12, the Niners somehow get the first pick, I think they'll try to trade up for Sam Darnold. The Jets will.
I could see that happening. My upset of the week in this crazy week 3 where I couldn't even get my head on straight was a team that I said has a chance to go 16-0 just last week. And another case of humble pie for me. The Broncos losing to the Bills was huge. And thought the Bills were terrible too. They showed up and they showed why they're going to be okay this year and shut me up. Von Miller.
Tell you what. Sorry, bro.
Von Miller with a late hit that wasn't really late, and a personal penalty that wasn't really personal at all. They were just friends clowning, and I don't know. The referees handed the game to the Bills.
Trevor Siemian throwing 2 picks.
Yeah, well, it shows that he's not one of the best. Yeah.
And still, in my opinion, even if Von Miller did get that joking around penalty, I still think the Bills dominated that game.
Yeah.
And good enough to win without that penalty.
I agree. The Bills defense, or not my lord, I can't talk. The Broncos offense wasn't doing the right things to win a football game. I'm playing a basketball game. Give me a break. Back to you, Joe. What was the biggest OMG moment to you this week? Again, there were plenty of them.
Right, I'm not gonna go with the obvious Lions choice. No offense, guys.
It's all right.
I'm gonna go with the Aaron Rodgers finally getting his first OT win after being 0-7 in his previous 7.
Threw another amazing touchdown.
Yeah, threw another amazing touchdown. I mean, to both teams. I think that was only his second ever pick 6 he's thrown too.
Yeah, the last one was against Tampa, and the guy had the same last name. It's pretty funny.
Right. I mean, it's a pretty crazy game to watch. Down 21-7, I've pretty much given up and come back and finally win one in overtime.
Welcome to life as a Lions fan. Yeah, it was a good game. I didn't catch a whole lot of it, but I've seen highlights, and I agree. Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers things, and kudos to the Packers for staying with that game. What about you, Brian? What was your OMG moment?
My OMG moment was, I obviously won't go with the Lions one. I'm going to go Tom Brady, game-winning touchdown pass to Cooks.
Ooh.
What a pass.
I don't know if that's an OMG moment, because it's Tom Brady. I mean, he's going to make those type of plays.
Still,
yeah, but it was only going...
And he was under pressure. Like,
exactly.
That's where I could see it being an OMG moment, was he was...
Exactly, it was only going to... It was only going to Cooks, or it was going out of bounds. It was not going into anybody else. It was a beautiful throw.
Nice catch, too.
That, in my opinion, could be a somewhat OMG or a not very OMG moment.
Right, but it was beautiful throw, just great catch, just OMG.
Right?
Yeah, Tom Brady's gonna Tom Brady, and just like Jay Cutler's gonna Jay Cutler. Brady's one of the best ever.
But one of those quarterbacks can only make that throw.
Oh, the truth hurts, Dolphins fans. How about you, Ryan? What was your OMG moment of the week?
Mine was the backup quarterback for the Vikings, Chase Keenum, going 25 for 33, throwing 369 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bucks.
How many completions did he have?
25 for 33.
How many of those were to Stephon Diggs? 23?
I think 8 of them, wasn't it?
He had 11 targets. Yeah, 8 for 11.
Yeah.
Actually, I agree with that. Stephon Diggs did amazing, but Case Keenum, something weird going on with Jeff Fisher's old quarterbacks. Under Fisher, they looked terrible, didn't they? They looked like Rams, I guess you could say. And Fisher's gone, and all of a sudden Jared Goff looks like a future franchise quarterback, and Case Keenum looks like he can play a little bit. Huh. What coaching does in the NFL?
They were really worried Chase Keenum wasn't going to be able to play very well against the Buccaneers, and he proved them all wrong.
He shredded him.
He shredded them. He took their knife and shredded them.
Right?
That's a good one. I didn't even catch my irony in my statement. Okay.
He did.
First thought when I was looking at his stats too. But my biggest OMG moment, nobody went with the Golden Tate, including me. Though that was a bit of an OMG moment. I went with the Bears 5th-year vet, I can't remember his name, recovering a blocked field goal, running it back 70 yards, slowing down 5 yards short, and losing the football out of the back of the end zone. He could have iced the game. Fortunately, they still won. He probably wouldn't have a job right now if they hadn't won that game. But anybody see that highlight? Anybody watch that game?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I didn't watch the game. I was at the Tigers game, but yeah, I seen the highlight of it.
I mean, we've seen this before where guys will maybe drop the ball early. Deshaun Jackson.
But mostly in college football, though. Yeah, Deshaun Jackson.
And Deshaun Jackson's probably a future Hall of Famer, so who knows if this is going to spark something in the kid like, hey, now I can go to the Hall of Fame. No, now you're never going to get to score a touchdown. But
he didn't even score a touchdown.
Hey, I'm confused about that play. You guys seen the punter swatted the ball out of the back of the end zone. Isn't that illegal swatting?
Hashtag Lions versus Seahawks Monday Night Football.
Yeah, hashtag 3 years ago. But wouldn't that be illegal swatting? Am I wrong for thinking this, or what's up?
I actually never thought of that until you just said that, and yes, I'd have to agree, yeah.
What would the penalty be then? Like, because I don't know.
I don't know. They didn't call it against the Lions and Seahawks, so I have no idea. I've never seen it since then.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to look that one up. I'll tweet Stephen A until he responds to me.
2 years later.
You're gonna get something in the mail restraining order that says you can't listen to him anymore.
He's gonna Seth MacFarlane me. Wow, that's I like those OMG moments, guys. I'm liking how we're having different opinions on all this stuff. I almost didn't see that coming.
I'm really surprised no one went with Jake Elliott, the rookie, hitting that 61-yard game winner.
Yeah.
Didn't even cross my mind.
He broke 3 records for that.
Longest field goal by a rookie, maybe?
Longest for a rookie, longest in Eagles, I'm pretty sure. And one more. It might have been 2.
Could have been the longest walk-off kick.
Could have been.
Because I've never seen anything like that, and I watch Matt Prater play 16 times a year.
Right.
All right, the college top 10. I'm gonna list them out, and you guys are gonna tell me if you agree or disagree with certain teams and think certain teams should be in there. Hold your tongue until I'm done. Starting with Alabama, obviously they should be number 1, or Clemson should be, but Clemson's number 2, followed by Oklahoma, Penn State, USC, Washington, Georgia, Michigan, TCU, who belongs, and Wisconsin. Now, starting with Joe, not you, Ryan, hold your tongue. Any of these top 10 teams you think maybe don't belong, or any you think it's overdue that they're in there?
I'd have to go with Michigan.
They don't belong?
Not belong.
Wow.
You want to back that up?
I mean,
That was 3 ouches.
just offensively have not been that impressive lately. I mean, what was it? 4 field goals to beat. What was it? 2 weeks ago?
Air Force?
Air Force, yes,
yeah.
thank you. And I mean, but I will say this, that Purdue game was impressive at the end.
Because of John O'Corn.
Right.
You guys aren't gonna believe this, but I wholeheartedly agree.
I mean, I would say maybe 10 or 11, but not 8.
I would say they don't belong in the top 10. How about you, Brian?
I'm also sticking with the Big Ten, and I'm gonna go with Wisconsin at number 10. I mean, they've absolutely swamped who they played, but in my opinion, they should be at 11, and Ohio State should be at 10. But that's going back to your last week where you don't think unbeaten teams or losing teams should be ahead of unbeaten teams. And I think that's why Georgia's in at number 7. But I
You
just
think
don't know
ESPN heard me and took me into account?
I think so, yeah. No. We start Big Ten play next week.
We started last week.
Yeah, so the second week of Big Ten play. For Wisconsin, it'll be their first week because they played BYU last week.
Yeah.
But they play Northwestern. I really want to see this game. I mean, Wisconsin's destroyed Utah State, FAU, and BYU.
Yeah, so they've basically Alabama'd the NCAA. They're sneaking their way up top by beating trash teams. I didn't even think about the Badgers because of how much they've won by. I haven't even thought about, well, they're beating bad teams.
Yep.
All right, Brian. All right, Ryan, let's hear it.
My team's really high up there. I'm gonna have to go. I don't think Washington belongs in the top 10.
Ooh.
I don't think teams that have not played good solid teams, they should keep moving up because that's giving them how do I put it? It just doesn't seem like they're doing anything to be that high up. They've only played Rutgers, Montana, Fresno State, and Colorado. I mean, Colorado, yeah, that's a
last year. That was last year, though. This year, Colorado's a different team. But sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
You're fine. It's, you know, I don't think Washington belongs at number 6. I think they should still be in the top 10, but I don't think they should be 6. If anything, they should be 9 or 10, maybe 11. But not 6.
Yeah, I agree with you. Washington is just like Colorado. They're not the team they were last year. And they're going to get exposed when they play against good teams. Stanford will probably tear them.
Not even Stanford. It could be, you know, it could be Cal. It could be UCLA. It could be
Cal's
Oregon
solid.
State next week.
Yeah,
It could be Oregon State next week.
I would be highly shocked because Oregon State's garbage, but it's
They
possible.
are garbage.
I'm not gonna count that idea out. Ooh, Porzingis. Sorry, got excited.
I mean, I don't agree with Ohio State being 11, just because, like Brian said, Wisconsin, they don't really need to be 10. But we did lose. We did lose to the number 5 team in the nation. So I mean, I don't think we should be dropping like we are, because we went from, I think, 8th to 10th to 11th.
Yeah.
Like, we're dropping, and I don't agree with that.
Exactly. I mean, I'll never be an Ohio State fan, but I agree with you. I don't get how you go from like even though Ohio State lost, and then after that loss they played 2 easy teams, but still that loss to Oklahoma, I did not expect them to go from what were they, 4, 5 or whatever,
Yeah,
all the way down to 8.
They were 2, weren't they?
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
2,
2.
yeah.
They went from 2 to 8 to 10
to
to
10
11.
to 11, yeah. And 3, yeah, it's like, wow.
But that's what happened when we won the championship. We were like number 2 or 3. We lost to Virginia Tech. We dropped all the way to 16th and came back in and won.
So what's your
I
house?
think we'll do that this year. I don't think we'll be able to win the championship, not with how Bama and Clemson are playing.
Penn
And
State too.
Oklahoma.
But what you're telling me is Washington should be out, and Ohio State probably deserves to be in.
I don't like I said, I don't think Washington should be out of the top 10. They should be maybe 11th, and that could possibly put Ohio State back at 10. But I mean, it's honestly not up to me. It's up to the people that decide that. So
Yeah, we're allowed to have our opinions, though.
yeah. Everybody else, in my opinion, deserves to be in the top 10, except for Washington.
I think it's USC.
Just like last week. Yeah.
Yeah, USC still hasn't impressed me, and they're hanging in there with okay teams, and I think they're a bad team with a great quarterback, and that's why the Colts were good for years with Andrew Luck, and that's why the Trojans are good right now. I don't think the Trojans should be top 5. Yeah, I don't think they should be top 5. Sure, give them top 10 till they lose. It's inevitable they're gonna lose.
Well, every team loses unless you're Bama.
Or Clemson sometimes. Yeah.
Well, even that's what I don't understand. Like, if Bama would have lost to Oklahoma, they would have dropped what, like 3, 4?
That'd
maybe?
be frustrating.
Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, how Bama loses.
Well,
and they only,
you
like,
gotta
they don't
figure.
drop how they should.
If Oklahoma went into Bama and handed it to their quarterback and just completely manhandled them in the second half, it might be the same story.
Right.
But if they lost to them at Oklahoma by 3 points, then I see your point. But JT had an off week, so I don't think it's going to happen again. And but yeah, top 10 upset alert this week. How about what are you thinking there, Joe?
Well, I'm gonna go with the team you just mentioned, and I'm gonna say USC against Washington State.
Ooh, I almost said that
Washington
one
State.
too.
I'm gonna say Washington has outscored its opponents 87-19 in the first half.
Ooh,
So I think they're gonna. Oh yeah, I think they're gonna jump out early. But on the backside, USC has outscored their opponents 72-38 after 3 quarters.
which is why they're not good. Oh man.
So I think the USC will try to make a comeback late in the game, but they'll come up short.
That's actually a really nice prediction. I almost said that as well. I didn't know the stat that you told me. That was a nice little piece of information you brought to the party.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that. Washington State is a good team. They're 16th in the country, in case somebody's not paying attention. They could be a sleeper to sneak into the playoffs if they win this game. So I like that. How about you, Brian?
Well, I don't have those stats that Joe just brought up, but I went with number 7 Georgia being upset by Tennessee.
Whoa.
That's a good one.
It's in Tennessee. It's in Tennessee. That's all I gotta say. It's in Tennessee. I got Tennessee 31-27. I like Tennessee. That game against Florida that just triggered them. I got Tennessee beating Georgia 31-27 in Tallahassee.
I like your pick. I think you're delusional for liking Tennessee. Ryan, top 10 upset alert.
I don't know if I want to go with this one, but I'm going to do it because this quarterback this quarterback has not been talked about on ESPN, anything. I'm going with number 12 Virginia Tech over Clemson.
Woo!
Yee. That's gonna be a fun game though. Prime time.
It's going to be a fun game. But Virginia Tech's quarterback and their wide receiver are annihilating defenses. Clemson, that's Clemson's first big test because Louisville, they took it to Lamar Jackson because they know him, they play him all the time.
And he's their only weapon.
Yeah, and they really never played a team like Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is the sleeper of the top 25 right now. So I feel like Virginia Tech could upset Clemson. And they're in Virginia Tech, so I feel like that's going to help them a lot.
I like that pick a lot. I don't think it's gonna happen personally. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But I do like it. It's taking a risk on what could be top to bottom the best team in the country. Clemson, that is. So picking against them is always tough for me, and I almost never do it. But I do like the ability and the willingness to take a risk on that pick. I unfortunately agree with Brian on this pick. I don't like Tennessee, but I think they'll win this game. Butch Jones is on the hot seat, and his players love him. And they're going to go all out because they don't want to lose their coach, you know. I say Tennessee wins over Georgia, and Georgia drops out of the top 10 for the rest of the year following this loss.
Who do you got in top 25 upsets?
Oh, man, I didn't even look at that. What do you got?
I got Vanderbilt over Florida.
I don't. Vandy's never going to score another point as far as I'm concerned. I picked them last week to beat Bama.
That was your fault for picking Vandy against Bama.
They were in Vandy. It looked good at the time. Actually, you said Vandy over Florida?
Yep.
It's highly possible. Vandy's okay and Florida can't score.
They barely beat Tennessee, so I kind of agree with Brian. I can see Tennessee beating Georgia. Georgia.
All right. Anybody else got any of those out of nowhere? Top 25 upsets? No.
I didn't look. I can give you one.
Everyone's going through the phone right now. Like, who's in the top 25?
I can give you one right off the bat without looking at my phone. I can give you Texas Tech over Oklahoma State. I don't think it's gonna happen.
High scoring game.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would love to see it happen.
Now here's why that's an interesting game, because Oklahoma State lost, so they're out of the playoff. I feel like their seniors might be a little discouraged, and their underclassmen could be as well, because that's all that matters anymore in today's college football, which is sad but true. So I like that. I don't think Oklahoma State's going to win much more. I think their quarterback's going to come out and he's going to do his thing. Yeah, it's a good pick. Anything there real quick, Joe?
I'd probably say Duke over Miami.
Whew. Oh, you picked against the Hurricanes. Bad idea. Bad idea. Where are they at?
14.
What? No. Where are they playing?
They are playing at Duke.
14 field. Didn't you know it was a field?
Gotta be more specific.
Okay, in Duke, beating Miami. And...
No, I don't see it happening. Just saying. Hate to throw it out to you, Joe.
Yeah, I respectfully gotta disagree too.
I was going out on a limb there, guys.
Your limb's already snapping, buddy.
That
I think everybody's top 25 upset was going out of the way.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody that I didn't make one because I'm not looking at the schedule right now because I'm literally playing a game. To keep the crowd entertained if they're not listening to us rumble mumble on. Okay, there are two teams left in the NFL undefeated. I can't stand either of them. The Falcons and the Chiefs. Who's gonna last the longest and who will probably push further when it's playoff time, starting with Joe?
I think the Falcons revenge train keeps on chugging along.
Yeah, I think the revenge train has a zebra or two on it.
I'm not gonna deny that one.
But go on.
Do they win?
Typical Lions fan.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one. That was a good one, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Hey, being a Packers fan, but I know where you're coming from too.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
feel like I'm out of the group. We got two Lions fans, a Packers fan, and a Colts fan here. I feel like I'm way out of the group.
Lions and Packers and Colts. Oh my. Anything else to add to that one, Joe? I like that.
I just think, they got a very young, talented defense, super explosive offense, and they just finished what they started last year.
Brian?
I wrote Falcons on paper, but with how much smack I've been talking about the Chiefs and Alex Smith, I'm actually gonna pick the Chiefs. With them the only team undefeated in the AFC besides the Falcons in the NFC. The Chiefs, they 3-0. I did not think they were gonna make it past week 1, but they did. I like the Chiefs, but now going into playoff time, I have Matty Ice and the Falcons. I think the Chiefs will last a couple more weeks and the Falcons undefeated, but going into playoff time, I wrote the Falcons on paper.
Ryan.
I got Chiefs losing week 6 to the Steelers and Falcons losing week 7 to the Patriots.
So you think the Falcons will rumble on a little longer?
Yeah, I think 1 week longer they'll last undefeated.
Dude, I hope that Patriots and Falcons game's on like Sunday Night Football.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And they're in New England.
I hope both quarterbacks throw 6 interceptions.
6 interceptions, 600 yards. It'll be a fun game.
Yeah.
Or it'll be a
think it is
20-3
anyway.
lead that gets blown again. That'd
Which
be
team?
hilarious.
Which team do you think would push further into playoffs, Ryan?
Between the Chiefs and the Falcons?
Yeah.
If you stop Kareem Hunt, the Falcons.
Yeah, that's an
But
if.
you gotta stop Kareem
Sounds easy enough, doesn't it?
Is this kid, hold on, just off top, is this kid for real or no?
Kareem Hunt for real?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know.
3 weeks, and it's 3 weeks. I think he's been over, what, 150 yards every week?
Yeah, well, look at Zeke did, and look what he's doing this year.
Is he for real, though? I don't know, man.
It's,
Sorry to get off topic, but, man.
That's a good question. We're gonna squeeze that in real quick.
Give it till after they lose, and he does. If they lose and he doesn't get over 100 yards, let's see how he does the next week. That'll be the test of if he's real or not.
What do you think, Joe? Kareem Hunt the truth?
Time will tell. I mean, like they're saying, Zeke had a great rookie year, just kind of struggling, having a sophomore slump. I know Eddie Lacy when he was with Green Bay his first year, great breakout season. And then now he's in Seattle getting, 5 yards for a whole game.
There's still flyers up in Green Bay looking for that man.
There's still flyers that say do not allow in the buffet.
That's so bad.
Is Kareem Hunt legit? My answer is no. Tyreek Hill was a good running back for the Chiefs behind that offensive line. Great offensive line, great team. He's okay. He's going to be good, but he's not as good as he's looking, because if you can make a receiver running the ball look that good, you can certainly make a decent running back look good.
Yeah, he's good out of the backfield catching too, though.
So was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill's not fat, or Tyreek Hill's a lot faster than.
Yes, he is. He's good.
So they can use him a lot.
I like Kareem Hunt. I like him. I just don't think he's even top 5 in the.
He'll be a solid top 10 running back every year.
All right. I still got to give my pick for Falcons or Chiefs. My answer is the Falcons. As hard as it is for me to say that right now. I think the Falcons, like Joe said, really well actually. They're not hungover. Brian said that last week, but they're on a mission and they have something to prove, and they're proving it every week, except for this week where they got outplayed, but they won. A win is a win, and that's what championship teams do. They win the games that they probably shouldn't even win. Cough, cough. Denver, you're not a championship team. The Falcons have probably an easier road as far as conference play goes. Obviously, they're in a weak division. Chiefs are in the toughest division in football. Even the easy games are tough. So, that's my expertise on this particular question. Alright, this one is something that I asked for Deshaun Watson's case. Is Bill O'Brien the right guy to lead the Houston Texans, Joe?
And this is a really tough one for me. Because I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to Houston that much.
You and the rest of the world, buddy.
except for Houston fans.
Yeah.
What fans?
Wow, that was harsh.
That was funny.
Yeah, I like Houston though. They're good. Well, not good, but you know, they'll do great things sometime.
Yeah, in
I
30
mean,
years.
I'd have to say no though, because I mean they have all the pieces there to be a good team. Granted, they won the AFC South 2 years in a row, but they seem to can't get past the wild card.
Just like the Lions.
Or over that 9-7 hump either. I mean, all 3 years he's been there, they've finished 9-7.
I like that. Brian, rather. The other Ryan.
This is my favorite question. I might have a little bit to say about this one, but I put no. I got a couple reasons here. He needs to go back to college football, or if he wants to stay in the NFL. Well, first in college, he went 16-9 as a head coach at Penn State. I think he was a great fit in Penn State, but if he doesn't want to go to college, he needs to stay in the NFL. I got some stats here. He was in New England from 2007 to 2011 as an offensive assistant, a wide receiver coach in 2009, an offensive coordinator in 2011, and he was a quarterback coach. I think but don't get me wrong, if Houston's going to keep going 9-7 and win the AFC South and keep making the playoff, why fix it if it's not broken? That's for me, all the Houston ownership want is a playoff win. And will Bill O'Brien get them that win? No. But will Bill O'Brien get them to the playoffs? Yes.
They won a playoff game last year, guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did.
Yeah.
Well, let's throw this whole thing out the window.
No, you're making good points.
Anyway,
they beat up Oakland team. They beat up a team that really shouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place without Derek Carr.
Oh yeah, because Derek Carr got injured. That's right. Son of a biscuits.
They beat up on a second-string quarterback for Oakland, and then got beat up by the Patriots.
It was Connor Cook.
Yeah,
Cook.
he's from Michigan State, so.
Yeah, well, what do you expect? Yeah. He's a third-string quarterback for them because McGloin's their backup.
But I think he should, if he wants to stay in the NFL, go to something other than a head coaching job. But
I like that. It's nice that you have a strong thought on it too, and you had some history to back it up. What's you, Ryan? Bill O'Brien, the guy?
I agree with Brian.
And Joe.
I mean, he is winning games, and he is taking them to the playoffs. But sooner or later, that 9-7 record is just going to start eating away at the owners and stuff. They're going to want a better season. They're going to want 10-win seasons. And I just don't think Bill O'Brien's capable of it. I mean, he's capable of putting them in the playoffs and winning the AFC South title, but sooner or later they're gonna want out of the playoffs than just beating a second-round quarterback or a second string quarterback. I can't talk today. Jeez.
I feel you.
I mean, I could go both ways on it.
I want so badly to disagree with you guys and to make this a good discussion, but I'm telling you, there's no way for me to go the other way. Bill O'Brien is a great guy, and he's probably a bit of a hothead, but I like him, and I liked him at Penn State. But liking somebody doesn't win football games, and it doesn't win championships. The Texans are okay, but the Titans are knocking on the door of excellence. The Colts are going to have a really good draft this year, and they're going to get Andrew Luck back. 9-7 is going to turn into 6-10, and they're going to be a revolving team stuck in the top 15 of the draft every year. O'Brien's not the guy because he's ruined quarterbacks. He's supposed to be some quarterback guru because he did something special, quote unquote, with Tom Brady, where Brady was already special. He ruined Ryan Mallett. Time will tell if he ruins Deshaun Watson. He's supposed to be some great quarterback guru. I think Brian's put it good. He should either go back to college if he wants to be a head coach, or if he wants to stay in the league, he needs to take a lesser role. So, unfortunately, we all agree.
That would be a huge loss for Deshaun Watson if Bill O'Brien just ran his computer into the ground. Because he's an athlete. He can play.
He has all the potential to be as good as Russell Wilson. Better.
He does, but
he's probably more physically talented than Russell Wilson.
Do you think if he would have been with the Jets or the Browns, maybe? How do you think a season would go then?
Same as DeShone Kizer. He's getting started too soon, and it's going to ruin his development. I was on the DeShone Kizer bandwagon, and now it's starting to show that he's actually just supposed to be a senior in college, and he's not ready to be in the NFL yet, let alone starting. So what would happen would be he would get exposed as a young kid, throwing a lot of interceptions. I think Houston's system is good for him, but I don't think with Bill O'Brien he will win a Super Bowl.
I don't think he'll win a Super Bowl at all.
Yeah. Anybody want to add anything on that before I move on?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Alrighty. I was hoping somebody'd say something so I can shoot a three-pointer, but alright. In Chicago, they got a bit of a quarterback situation, I guess you could call it. Mike Glennon, Mitch Trubisky. Chicago fans are calling for the start of Mitch. But statistics say maybe Mike should stay. Thoughts, fellas? Who should start?
I'd say give it to the kid because I don't think he's gonna learn much sitting behind Mike Glennon. As much to say as what Andrew Luck would have learned if Peyton Manning would have stayed. You got to watch him for a couple of years, or what Aaron Rodgers learned from sitting behind Brett Favre. If the Bears had a better quarterback to show Mitch the ropes, then it'd be a different story. But you got a guy out there that is just not really getting the job done.
I mean, Glennon competed with the Steelers and he beat the Steelers and he competed with the Falcons. He played pretty well in those games.
I mean,
was it more the Falcons?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but was it more him or the run game? Because in the Falcons game, they had the ball at the 5-yard line, and he 4 pass plays and couldn't do it.
Who was that kid from Indiana that starts for the Bears at running back?
Jordan Howard.
That's it. Jordan Howard dropped a wide open touchdown to win that game on 4th down.
That is fair, but he's also being the team too. He's just running all over defenses.
Yeah, he's the Adrian Peterson of the Chicago Bears.
And the Bears' defense is what helping them win games too, which hasn't been said for a while.
Yeah, we haven't said that since Urlacher.
Oh yeah.
In his prime, even, not just like any Urlacher.
So I mean, I'd say if they had a better starting quarterback, I would say wait a year or two on him. But given the situation, I'd say start him. I mean, here's some stats for you. Glennon completed just 3 passes beyond 5 yards from scrimmage against the Steelers.
Huh.
He threw 4 balls beyond 10 yards. 2 were incomplete and 1 was picked off. 15 completed passes did not make it past the line of scrimmage. And his first completion to a wide receiver was a 9-yard pass with 6 minutes left in regulation.
He only threw for 101 yards?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean,
Last point on that, Joe?
I say start the kid. That's my that's my point.
I like it. Brian?
That was actually I never thought about that, but I went the other way. I said keep Glennon. In my opinion, I don't think this kid is ready. But like Joe said, how is he going to get ready without playing? Because their quarterback is Mike Glennon. But I think we're giving. I don't think we're giving Mike Glennon as much credit as he deserves. Mike Glennon is going to show a different personality from playing the Steelers Sunday to playing the Packers Thursday night. I think he's going to show up Thursday night, and some of those stats that you read are going to be way different than he did against the Steelers. Don't get me wrong, I eventually think we will see Mitch T this year, even if it's coming up after this game against the Packers, if it's in the game against Packers, or if it's week 16. But I think they should stay with Glennon here, see what he got, and if they prove him wrong, they're just gonna go right to the kid. But I say give it to Mike Glennon.
Ryan?
I agree with both of them.
Pick a side, buddy.
Keep Glennon in. Hey, this is my opinion, alright? Leave me alone. Keep Glennon in, but I would occasionally throw Trubisky in there.
Ooh, whoa, time out. You can't be running a two-quarterback system in the NFL.
Hear me out.
Let's hear it.
Glennon, I would put Trubisky in just so he could learn a little bit more of the offense. Or Trubisky in, yeah, just to learn a little bit more about the offense. Because if he keeps on staying behind Glennon, he's not going to learn much besides how to lose close games.
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you drafted him second overall, and you're putting in a guy who's not very good. Yeah, he beat the Steelers, but was that all Glennon winning the game, or was that, you know? I don't know. It's a touchy situation in Chicago right now. I mean, I would honestly, if I was the coach, I would start Glennon against the Packers. Who do the Bears play next week, or after the Packers?
Oh, I don't care enough to add. Hold on.
Well, whoever they play after the Packers, I feel like if Glennon doesn't do very good against the Packers, I say start Trubisky, see how he does. And if he does decent, if he did decent and the week after the Packers, would you keep Trubisky in or keep Glennon in?
If he does decent against the Packers?
If Glennon doesn't do very good against the Packers, do you put Trubisky in next week or the week after that?
I would wait until after the bye week.
Real quick, after that, they have Minnesota at home.
Yeah, I'm not starting a rookie against that defense.
Yeah, don't start Trubisky against that freaking secondary. Xavier Rhodes actually dominating star wide receiver right now.
Yeah, no, the Vikings are too good for that. So you say keep Glennon in until he shows that maybe he shouldn't be in anymore?
Yeah. Or just run the two-quarterback system.
That's psychotic, but maybe it worked. I say Mike Glennon right now and probably for the rest of the year. You guys know who John Fox is, right?
Yeah.
John Fox is great. He's an all-time coach. He coached Peyton Manning, and I think the kid will learn more standing next to John Fox than he will getting hit by J.J. Watt. Fox has coached Peyton Manning, not very long, but I'm sure he learned something in the brief time.
Peyton Manning knew a lot more than Trubisky.
Yeah. Well, the point is that Fox did coach Peyton, which gave him an opportunity to learn more about that particular position. So,
That just gave John Fox a reason to win a Super Bowl.
And he didn't do it.
That's true.
I think overwhelmingly we see top quarterbacks from the draft starting too early. And it hurts their progression, I think. Very rarely does it work out. We're looking at Matthew Stafford and Russell Wilson, and not even really Andrew Luck, unfortunately, because he's gotten hurt behind a bad offensive line, so we don't really know. He's played well when he is healthy, but I'd love to see him back. But what I'm saying is, look at all the times it doesn't work out. Mark Sanchez was supposed to be the best quarterback in his draft class. It was Matthew Stafford. Yeah, that sums it up.
He'll never put that.
Cam Newton probably could have sat a year and learned a lot more about actually being a quarterback instead of a running back who can throw the ball occasionally.
Can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, he's terrible. Jamarcus Russell really would have learned a lot from sitting out a year or two. He'd probably still be in the NFL. So I don't want to see Trubisky's career get hurt the way that maybe Deshaun Kaiser's already is. He only started, 11 games in college, I think it was. So the answer is Mike Glennon right now, but who knows? Maybe Glennon gets hurt and Trubisky takes over and makes me eat my dust. Or my words, his dust. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Joe, I'm going to have you answer this question last. Brian, is Aaron Rodgers the Packers' GOAT?
Well, in sense, Brett Starr was obviously a while ago. I compared him to one quarterback, and that's who he sat behind. Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers for me. Favre played 16 years in Green Bay. He started 253 games, and he had 71,838 career yards. That's including his 2 games with Atlanta, the Jets, and New York. And he had, out of those 71,000, he had 61,655 yards with Green Bay. And then Aaron Rodgers, he became a star in 2008. As of right now, he has almost 40,000 career yards in 145 games.
I'm gonna ask you to pick one.
I know. I'm gonna go with yes. He is the GOAT
For the Packers.
of Green Bay. Of the Packers, yes. I'm going yes, he is. Final
Ryan.
answer.
Final answer. Doo-doo-doo-doo. No. Okay, Ryan.
Well, like everyone's always said in the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, winning matters, and Aaron Rodgers is probably the greatest quarterback in Packers history, and probably in the NFC history. I'm not gonna say whole league because everyone knows it's Tom Brady.
Over Montana.
Over Montana.
Over Montana.
All right. Why do you say that?
How many quarterbacks can make the type of throws that he makes? How many quarterbacks can throw Hail Marys down the field
Only Brett Favre.
blindly? And
Ironically enough, it's only Brett Favre.
yes, I'm gonna have to go with Rodgers.
Okay, now, I don't know about you guys, but growing up, my favorite quarterback in the world was Brett Favre. Okay, I was a Lions fan, but I loved Brett Favre, and I hated the Packers.
What do
The
you think his
answer,
record was against the Lions?
a lot to a little. I think Favre is still probably the third greatest quarterback of all time, and as far as Packers history goes, he's still left a bigger imprint on the Packers and more yards and touchdowns. So right now, it's still Brett Favre for me. Aaron Rodgers probably will be by the time he's done. I think he's got 8 more years though, so we'll find out. Joe, let's hear it.
Well, for starters, Brett Favre's record versus the Lions was 25-9.
Yeah, a lot to a little. I don't want to talk about that though. We're talking about Packers, not the Lions.
Just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Means a lot. You know what? We're just gonna skip you. Next, no.
All right.
I was kidding.
Oh,
I do.
I would say yes. Rodgers is the GOAT for the Packers. Favre, don't get me wrong, I grew up loving Brett Favre too, and the man was awesome. He would just go out there and throw that ball where it needed to be, and sometimes not where it needed to be. I mean, for a while, he had the most touchdowns ever for NFL, at the same time having thrown the most interception record too.
Does he still have those records, or did Peyton take over the touchdown record?
Peyton took over it. Like, it's since been broken, but at the time when he had the record for most touchdowns, he also had the record for most interceptions thrown too.
The other Manning's on his way to taking that one. It's a family effort. So you're saying yes? It's a good old discount double check Aaron Rodgers?
I'd say yes, and it would be even more clear if they could give Roger the better pieces for defense and an offensive line too. I mean, if you would throw him on the Patriots for a couple of years, I'm sure we'd be talking about Rodgers having, 3-4 rings.
Probably
right
5. It'd be nice for them if they could keep their offensive lineman out of Detroit too.
You don't like our presence?
Oh no, I love TJ Lang. He's awesome. Alright, we're going to end this on a fun note. I always end on a fun note. Usually a prediction or opinions on awards. So we're going to go with opinions on the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Everybody starting at 5, going down the chain. We're going to say like 5, and then everybody's going to say their 5th, and then everybody's going to say their 4th, and then, yeah. Okay. Starting with you, Joe. Who's the 5th best quarterback in the league right now?
I have to say Alex Smith.
Ooh. Okay.
And then 4th,
Hold on. Okay, I like that.
Okay.
But we're going to go next person.
My bad.
It's okay. Brian, number 5. And give me number 4, too, because Joe can't follow rules.
I picked Matthew Stafford at 5.
Okay.
And number 4, I put Derek Carr.
I feel ignorant right now. Ryan, 5 and 4.
I'm going Derek Carr 5, and I'm gonna go Matthew Stafford 4.
Ooh, respecting the Stafford. I love it. Never respects Michigan sports, guys. This is a truly rare moment. All right, my 5th is Matthew Stafford as well, and my 4th is respecting greatness personified as Drew Brees. All right, Joe, number 3.
Number 3, Matthew Stafford.
You guys, I love you guys. This is why I invited you to my podcast.
Wow. I'm a Lions fan, and I put Matthew Stafford at 5.
It's because we're humble.
The Packers fan, and he put Matthew Stafford at 4 and Matthew Stafford at 3 and Aaron Rodgers
Wait.
at 4.
Yeah, you rated Rodgers behind Stafford?
Yeah.
The way the season's going right now, I mean, you guys showed a lot better chance of taking down Atlanta, granted at home, than what we did on the road.
I respect you for that opinion, Joe.
I mean, part of that is our offensive line is hurt right now, but I mean, later
You got to
on in
work
the
with what you
year,
got.
I'm gonna say later on in the year, I'm sure that opinion will change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure Rodgers will drop out of the top 5. I'm kidding. Brian, number 3.
Matt Ryan.
After throwing 3 interceptions, you're drunk. Ryan,
Yeah.
number 3. I'm not even
No.
letting you explain it. Ryan, number 3.
Oh.
Scheiße. I'm gonna have to go with Matt Ryan.
All right. Brandon says Alex Smith is number 3. He's better than Matt Ryan right now.
Man.
With
Alex
less
Smith,
weapons.
Really? Oh.
Number 2, Joe. If it's Matt
Well, I
Ryan,
must
don't even
be-
say it.
I'm gonna say I must be I'm really drunk then because Matt Ryan.
I'll let you guys all explain that afterwards. But Brian, number 2.
Aaron Rodgers.
Interesting. Ryan.
I feel like me and Brian are like on the same page right here. I got Aaron Rodgers number 2.
I bet their number 1 should probably be the same, but
Number
like everyone's
2
number one's gonna be the
is
same.
Tom Brady.
You're on crack.
yeah.
Aaron
You're
Rodgers
really
is
drunk.
more talented and a better quarterback right now than Tom Brady, with less weapons, less offensive line, less defensive help. Number 1, starting with Joe. I already know it. All right, number 3. You guys all have number 1 the same. Let's just agree with that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Tom Brady.
Yeah. The best quarterback in the league is Aaron Rodgers. And he's doing a
Which
lot
I
with a little.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I can agree with that with Aaron Rodgers, but I think it's Tom Brady. But
That was funny, guys. I like that. I like how you guys. I like
that
how we
one.
all have Matthew Stafford. Probably couldn't have said that last year. I wouldn't have.
yeah.
Hey, Brant, I got one for you.
All right.
Top 5 rookies this year.
Ooh. Both divisions or both conferences?
Any rookie.
Okay. Okay. I'll start at number 5 with Joe. If you can't think of 5 rookies, it's okay. Just give me what you got. Joe?
I can't think of any right offhand. Come back to me.
We've talked about 4 of them today. All right. Brian?
Deshaun Kaiser.
Ooh, I like it. Ryan?
Cooper Cup.
I think he should be lower on your list.
He should.
I got Jalen Smith. Technically, he's a redshirt rookie. He didn't play
His
last
first
year.
his first year playing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the NBA's rule. I don't know if the NFL goes by that. But
No.
he's a redshirt rookie, so I'm going to count him in there. Number 4, Brian. Joe, I'm going to give you an option after we're all done.
Dalvin Cook.
Okay. Ryan.
Dalvin Cook.
I'm going with Kareem Hunt.
Ooh.
Actually,
That's what I'm
no.
going with.
Kareem Hunt's my number 3. Number 4 for me is Kenny Galladay.
I'm going Kareem Hunt at 3 as well.
Ryan?
I'm going
Ryan or
Kareem
Ryan?
Hunt.
Who?
Kareem Hunt.
No, I
Going
heard you.
Kareem
I
Hunt.
was talking to Ryan. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Go Ryan. Sorry, kid.
Kenny Galladay.
I like it. Kenny G. He's an OG. You already got my number 3. Number 2.
Oh gosh. We'll go. Crap. I'll just say Kenny Galladay because my number 1. I have my number 1. I just don't know number 2.
My
I'll go
number
Kenny
2
Galladay.
is Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, Ryan. I skipped you.
Well, mine's Deshaun Watson as well.
All right, number
that's my
1,
number
starting
1.
with Brian.
My 1's Deshaun Watson.
Excellent. Ryan?
Kareem Hunt.
And I say Delvin Cook. He's doing better with less than Kareem Hunt. Not better. He's doing almost as good with less. He looks tough.
True.
Joe, you got anybody?
Yeah. I mean, no particular order.
Okay.
I mean, Cook's really been lighting it up for Minnesota. Hunt, I mean, everybody's seen what he's done here too.
Yeah.
Watson, Kaiser. I think out of the two, Watson definitely will have the better season.
Yeah, better team.
Better team too, that helps.
And one more.
Is
Screw it. Put Mitch
That's all I got.
Trubisky in there.
Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, there we go. He's already better than most rookies. He hasn't even taken a snap yet. All right, guys, this went on for a while. I appreciated everybody. If my guests ever want to be on again, you're going to have to fill out some paperwork to pay me.
Honestly, we don't. We'll just text you.
Yeah, I know. Realistically, had a good time. What's up, Brian?
One more thing before we go. The rule for a swatted ball, the team who swatted it, it would go back to the team that didn't swat it, and they would get a fresh set of downs.
So realistically, the Bears should have got the ball back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice to know. I love the NFL referees.
Just thought I would throw that in there.
All right, thanks. Thanks for answering that question that I would have forgot about.
Hey, real quick, I'd like to give a shout out to Richard Sherman for getting the hat trick, getting flagged 3 times on one play.
That's my guy. How did he do that? Was that the one where he hit the quarterback?
That he got called for pass interference / holding, and then it was the play was an interception. So when Seattle was returning it, he got called for holding as an offensive play, and then he went up to the refs, argued about it, threw his helmet down, and they flagged him for unsportsmanlike conduct on that.
Jesus, attaboy.
I love that guy. I want to be just like him. Ryan, any last word?
Just found something really interesting about Aaron Rodgers.
He has a mustache. What's up?
Mine's better.
Yeah.
I have his first half and second half comparisons already.
All right.
His first half, his completion percentage is 60% with 5.7 yards an average. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and a 26 total QBR. His second half, however, is a 71% completion percentage, 8.3 yards per attempt, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a total QBR of 84.
So what you're telling me is that Aaron Rodgers plays for USC.
Pretty much. He's pretty much a second half quarterback now.
Yeah, just about the same thing. All right, these have been D+ opinions, thoughts, whatever you want to call it, and then some. I appreciate if you've watched, like it, share, comment, do whatever you do. I don't really care. Just let people know that we're not terrible. All right.